My name is Alexis, and I have maladaptive daydreaming disorder. So, if you've ever spoken to anyone about maladaptive daydreaming in any way, shape, or form, you've probably been greeted with one of the following statements: everybody daydreams. It just means you're creative. That's weird. Have you ever tried not pacing? Yeah, I think I do that too, because sometimes I just can't concentrate in class. And for the most part, these people are well meaning, but maladaptive daydreaming is something that can really interfere with your life. And people not taking it seriously and not being aware that it is a real issue that people struggle with can really get in the way of people seeking treatment and making accommodations in their life to help deal with it. I mean, even if you take it to a professional level, a lot of people find it really hard, even if they know for a fact that they struggle with maladaptive daydreaming and they're not sure how to bring it up with a therapist, because most therapists will argue, oh, well, it's not in the DSM, is it a real thing? Even if they do know what maladaptive daydreaming is, or you tell them, so little is known about it that probably won't know the best way to treat you anyway. So that brings us to the subject of awareness and why it's so important. When people in general are aware of a problem and the issues it can cause, it opens the door for a lot healthier conversations about these things. The thing is, mental health in general, mental health conditions are incredibly stigmatized, and generally people aren't very good at dealing with them, but there are some that are more well known than others, and that can result in it being a lot easier to get treatment for them than it is for the lesser known. For example, I am really quite open about the people I know, and in my experience, people will accept that I have anxiety issues offhandedly if I mention it once. You don't have to see symptoms or anything, just, oh, that's a problem you're dealing with. Sorry to hear about that. If you say you can't do something because of this, I'll just accept that. Whereas, I wouldn't say daydreaming is quite the same. Even though people come into my room and they see the holes in the carpet, which are distinctly on either side of my room caused by pacing, they have witnessed me walk away from movies because I need to daydream. I, more often than not, have talked to them for probably hours on end, to the point where they're sick of hearing about my paras and my paracosm and all the things I daydream about. But when I say to them, yes, how much I daydream is a problem, they don't accept that as easily. The question is now, maladaptive daydreaming really could use some more awareness. What do we do about that? Well, as a starting point, I actually only got up to date on this issue recently, but fun fact, the Wikipedia for maladaptive daydreaming was taken down in 2017, I think, or oh, I can't remember exactly how they put it. Don't quote me on this, but it was along the lines of there is no evidence to support that this is, in fact, a real disorder. Which, when you consider the amount of stupid Wikipedia articles that are out there, I find kind of farcical, but okay. But it was put back up. I don't know when. I only discovered this the other day. And then was threatened to be taken down again. But instead of being taken down this time, has instead got a list of things that Wikipedia considers to be wrong with the article up at the top. Now, when you have a disorder like maladaptive daydreaming, which people already struggle to believe in, if the first introduction someone has to the concept is a Wikipedia page with a list of things that basically say this article is not reliable at the very top, I'm not sure they're going to be any more convinced that it is real. I've taken a few stabs at correcting some of the information. I would love to. I keep reading the updates, but I would love to know what's going on behind the scenes with this article because it's bizarre. Some of the complaints about the reliability of it are that there aren't enough reputable sources. I use reputable because they're, well, one of the sources they list as unreliable is Eli Sommer's first paper on the maladaptive daydreaming scale. And considering that is the paper that most of the research on maladaptive daydreaming is founded on and started with, I find that a bit concerning and odd. But the weird thing is, the problem at the top complains there isn't enough evidence to support the article, and yet the amount of sources is going down rather than up. I don't know what that's about. That's half my point. One, the Wikipedia was taken down, and then two, it was marked up for needing work done, and I don't think many people even know. I certainly didn't. But it's the kind of thing we as a community should be trying to be aware of, because it's most people's first introduction to the concept. And I mention it mostly so, like I said, I've been trying to take a stab at fixing it, but I have never edited a Wikipedia article before. I don't really know what I'm doing. I haven't written an essay since school. I point it out in this video mostly because I'm hoping that the more we talk about the Wikipedia article needing help, the more likely someone who's good at writing these kind of things will take note of the fact that that needs some extra support and maybe chip in. Also, if you're not already aware, September is Maladaptive Daydreaming Month, or at least we're trying to push for it to be, because that is the month that Eli Sommer came out with the first Daydreaming Scale paper. The official Maladaptive Daydreaming Awareness Day is 28th, apparently, because that's when he published the paper, I think. I have been searching for the date for ages and haven't to find it, but apparently someone else said that's what it was, so I'm going to take their word for it, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for it yet, but I'm going to do something. That's all I had to say for now. If you have any ideas of things, awarenessy things we could do in September, please leave comments because I am struggling for ideas. I have a few, but I appreciate you to take part yourselves. Please do, because it really use the attention to this community. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Daydream fun. That's fun. Goodbye.